Episode 38, No
Hey.
Condom Podcast.
38.
Raw dog in your bra, dog.
Yo, hold on. I got a question right off the bat. So, like, what if the pussy was right in between the tits?
I'd still fuck it.
That's fire, because titty fucking's hype.
Yo, but, like, titty fucking is hype. But, like, a pussy right in between the titties? That's like...
Okay, are you saying...
Well, I guess the main... Sorry, you continue.
I was just going to say, would this be like the normal, or are you just talking about like one random chick having that? Because if it was just one random chick, then it would be a little weird.
It's like a tranny. You gotta try everything once.
But, like, I don't even care. Yeah, it's one random. But, like, she has a pussy.
Like, would you fuck a hot tranny in the ass? If you didn't know it was a tranny beforehand? Like, if you got back to the telly and she had a dick, would you fuck her?
No.
Are you positive about that, though?
Hold on. I don't know.
I don't know. Pause.
Do I know or no?
I don't know. Do you? That's the question.
Do I know she has a dick?
You don't know she has a dick prior. You just learn it like you back at the telly, you both drunk, and
You
then
already made your journey there.
like you already made the journey there. You're in there, and the lights go down, whatever. She pulls down her pants, and there's a penis. But she's not asking you to do nothing gay, like suck it, nothing. She doesn't want to fuck you, but she has a penis. Like, are you still smashing? And it's like the hottest chick you've ever seen.
I'll probably just smash.
You just smash and dash. And this is the point I'm making.
Hottest chick I've ever seen, and like, I'm just smashing from the back, and like,
Yeah, you're just doing that. Like, you don't even got to look at that penis, even though it's flopping against yours while you're hitting it.
It's not flopping against mine.
But what if it is?
Then we're done.
Then you're paused, you're out.
I'm paused. I'm out.
But you're giving it a shot.
I
So
mean,
y'all
like,
can't hate on me if I tell you I want to try shooting heroin once. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to do that, though. For real. I don't want to do that. But with all the shit I joke about, people probably think I really want to do that. But no, I don't.
See, this is how we started the podcast. Like,
That's how we started.
That's how we started.
What was the point you were initially making, though? There was a point I was trying to counteract with.
I forget.
I forget
You threw
as
me
well.
right off.
Yeah, I
Pause.
hit you with the hard question.
Yeah.
Pause.
Oh, what did I say right off the bat? I don't even remember.
If there was a pussy between the tits.
Oh, yeah.
pussy
Well,
between the
yeah.
tits.
Yeah.
Or would you still fuck
Which made me...
So like,
yeah.
let's say the girl doesn't even take off her pants because if the pussy's right between her tits, you don't have to know.
Well, that's the question. Is there two pussies or is there just one between the tits? Because I feel like during sex, like I already focus on the tits so much. Like I try to have one in my mouth at all time. Yo, what's up? Leash is in the place to be right now. So we're not going to get too graphic. But
so you're saying no, I'll get graphic. Like so you're saying like maybe you could eat the pussy and fuck the pussy at the same time. Like,
I don't know. That's
on the same
difficult
girl,
because
she-
like how
she
do you
has two?
focus on the tits? That's like if your girl while you're fucking her in the vagina had like two pressure points right near her vagina that turned her on more. How do you like suck on something that your penis is in at the same time unless you're Marilyn Manson? Pause.
But it's not down there. It's between the tits. It's closer to your.
But if your penis
It's in-
is in between her tits fucking a vagina,
no.
then how are you going to suck on her titties at the
No,
same
I'm
time?
saying
Or like pinch on them? You'd be like hunched over in like a twister position.
No, I'm saying if she has.
It's like Hasbro.
You're saying you asked. Hold on. You asked if she had another pussy downstairs as well. So if she has a pussy downstairs,
At first, you made it sound like
That
she
changes
didn't,
everything.
though.
but you asked the question.
So she does then?
If she does,
What's happening?
you're fucking the pussy and you're eating the pussy at the same time, but you're eating two different pussies from the same girl. But you're fucking and
Good for her. The only other question I have then is like, does the dick game matter at that point, or do you need two vaginas to stimulate you? Like, are they both giving you the equal amount of pleasure, or is like one for show? You know, like fake tits. Like, I don't know. I never really been with a girl with fake tits, but like I would imagine that like when you suck on her nipples, it doesn't feel as good as like a girl that doesn't have fake tits.
You're probably right.
Oh.
That is true, actually.
Yeah, I was gonna
So
say
have
probably right.
girlfriends with fake
Oh.
boobs, and
Yeah.
like you lose the feeling in your nipples.
Yeah.
Well, like maybe not everyone.
Well, that's what I mean. It probably doesn't
But-
feel as good for them, too.
Not
right?
gonna
Like
feel
the
as good.
girls.
So if
Oh,
you have
so
a
you're saying-
vagina in
so
your
you're saying-
It's
chest,
like a different
The vagina in your
sensation.
chest
Right.
isn't what the vagina downstairs is not equal.
Or is the vagina?
Well, which
up
one
here
is the
better
equal, or
than
the
one
or
down
which
here?
one is Queen Elizabeth, and which one is Princess Diana? Pause. Yeah, that's not even on a gay shit pause. That's
Yeah.
just like I shouldn't make that joke.
That
Pause.
just like helped me get. That just helped me get in the royal family. Listen to that. Listen to last episode. You know.
Right. But I mean, aside from like this vagina in the chest thing, I kind of have a meme of the day, but I don't know if I can get it to you. So hopefully I can. If not, you just have to hear about it. But there's this fire meme where there's this girl with her like cleavage out, right? There's like a little thing happening between them, and then they zoom in on it. And you know when you're a kid and someone goes, "Got your nose," it looks exactly like the two tits look exactly like the finger with the fucking the thumb sticking out where it's like "Got your nose."
I've seen this before. I'll put it up.
I'm like, yo,
I'll look it up.
and pop it up on there.
I've
I was
seen
like,
it,
yo,
yeah.
that's pretty fire.
Yeah, I've seen that
that's pretty
before.
fire. So that's my meme of the day. I don't hit you guys with it every week, but when I hit you with it, it's poetic.
Yeah.
I
You know
feel
what I'm
like
saying?
I actually saw that, and I had to like double take.
I'm pretty
it
sure
to
your
really
homegirl
understand.
posted it.
Who?
Yeah.
Trish?
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it was.
I
And I was like, yo, that's funny
That's
I
shit.
actually
fire.
think that I saw it and I like zoomed in on it. And
You
I'm
know
like,
what?
What is this?
Those are like my favorite kind of memes. The ones where like someone posts a picture and then posts it a second time, but gives you a different caption on the second one. You know what I mean? You're like,
Yeah.
and like, I bet you didn't notice this, or like this, or like zoom in on a certain part. You're like, whoa. Or like the ones where it's like a Twitter conversation where someone says something and then like the person posts something under it.
Yeah.
Like, yo, the one that had me howling, you can pull this up too if you can. But the
ones
one where
under
it's
are
like the
fire.
GoFundMe, and it's like, please support these starving people or something. And it was Post Malone and his homie. And then like he comments under, he's like, yo, what the fuck? To me, I'm just like, yo, that's so funny.
Yeah.
And yo, you got to watch Gary Owen on The Breakfast Club because he goes up. You know how he went up
I
as
watched
6'9" last time?
Yeah, I watched
He
that
went
one.
up as Post Malone this time.
Okay.
And he's just talking about how he's dirty and smells like fucking sweat and like
I seen the 6'9"
mayonnaise.
one.
And yo, it's so funny, man. Because, yo, me personally, no disrespect, like, you know, I kind of feel you probably think you're better now. But that's the first joint I felt by him, man. I hated Rockstar. I hated, like everything just sounds like auto-tune with someone who can't sing. But then I've seen him perform live shows and he's not bad. So I'm like,
Okay.
what is this guy doing? He's just exploiting black culture. He doesn't like hip hop. I don't know. I don't give Post Malone a pass. And the fact, yo, there's the meme right there. I got your nose. How fire is that?
That's hilarious.
Right?
I haven't seen that
But
yet.
I'm
I haven't
like,
seen that.
I don't know. I just don't appreciate people who, like he to me is a culture vulture.
I see that. I'm not too big on Post Malone, but definitely from
Yeah,
that one
I'm not a
interview,
fan.
and he said like I don't listen to hip hop, and if you want to get
Music with feeling, you listen to
Music
this and
with
that. It's
feeling?
like, well, you just clearly have never listened to good
Yeah.
hip hop. And then like every single, he's got like one of the most like trending names on the song. Like, you know what I mean? It's like a 21 Savage or
yeah.
a fucking. There's a number of others. I can't think of the names off the top, but I don't know. I just don't really fuck with Post Malone. Like, I think that's whack. Like, if people want to hate on Kid Rock for doing his cultural appropriation thing and then going to country and shit, Post Malone should get like a double barrel bag at that. Like, he's way worse than Kid Rock. At least Kid Rock like put like 8-10 years in as a Detroit MC and then switched his style. You know what I mean? Like, and then slowly switched it more. Like, Post Malone is just like someone who literally like. Do you know Joey Badass wrote Rockstar?
whoa,
I didn't know
what?
Yeah.
No.
No, I
See,
know
now
that.
I haven't confirmed that, but I've had a few different heads tell me that, and that's why if you listen to Jerry Owen
That's
the Gary
crazy.
Owen interview on Breakfast Club they just did like today or yesterday, they're like, "So did you write Rockstar?" He's like, "Yeah, I write everything I write." But like, I caught the joke because I had heard that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So apparently Joey Badass wrote Rockstar.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm like, you see him live and he's like strumming a guitar and playing Sublime, and I'm like, yo, that's dope. Like, I appreciate that you have more musical talent than you show in your pop shit, but like, if you don't fuck with hip hop, then this ain't the culture for you,
Yeah.
man. Don't come in here and
Yeah.
exploit it. You get these stupid fucking face tattoos and like,
That's my problem. He says he doesn't want to be a hip hop artist, but then he
But
does hip hop music, and it's like,
yeah,
well,
and
we'll
does
pick
like
one.
hip hop things.
Yeah, hip hop things.
That's
It's like
whack.
then you're trying to be a hip hop artist.
Yo,
Like, don't say you just don't want to be in that lane and then make
To me,
hip hop
that's
music.
whack.
'Cause
Yeah,
anyone
so-
will put you in that category.
And
Yeah.
you know my last name's Maloney, so I
So-
just, if you represent the Malone name bad, I just I'm not feeling it.
So here's a message from the No Condom Podcast. Post Malone, there's only one Malone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, I'll battle Post Malone.
Yo,
You don't want to try me, kid.
yo,
You think you can ball, but trust me, I'm the white Iverson.
I hope you're watching this. 'cause,
Every rhyme
this
is
guy-
sick.
This dude will fuck you up.
You
bro.
could suck my cock hard, give that a long pause, cause you know you ain't a rock star. You smoking fucking
There's only-
blunts while you
I only know
drinking
one
beer
Malone.
bongs with Bentleys. Best believe you ain't a true MC. You couldn't test me.
Yeah.
Respect these nuts.
Yo,
Got you with your hands on your face like it's Home Alone. You know it though. Malone's got the only throne, and you ain't no Malone.
yo, how corrupt said he only knows one X.
You get shredded like
I only-
provolone.
I only know one Malone. Hey, how corrupt said he only knows one X. I only know one Malone.
True, but X is different because so many people. It's like
That was
X is like such a rare letter. It's like anyone with X in their name gets called X. Like Exhibit,
But-
DMX, Triple X extension cord, fucking
Yeah, but when
Tentacion.
when corrupt said that shit was fire.
I mean, I don't know. A lot of people say shit that's fire.
Calling out names.
I like when people call out names. There's enough subliminal shit. Like
Corrupt called out names. That was
like
the name of the song.
Hove my whole
That was the
career,
name of the
I've had to
song.
decipher subliminals from.
Eh?
I like when people just
Yo.
call out names.
Call
And you know
out
what?
names.
It's not
We-
ill. Corrupt came up with a song calling out names. And
Yeah.
Out of all this shit that's fucking going on nowadays, all this subliminal shit, Corrupt, his diss track was called Calling Out Names.
But isn't that kind of the thing that like Kendrick homaged when he did the whole King in New York thing too? Like,
part of that, yeah.
wasn't that? I don't know. I know he homaged some
Corrupt, yeah.
corrupt bars. I don't know if they're from
Yeah.
that joint, but like that kind of an idea
Yeah.
still. Like that was a very corrupt homage
Yeah.
type of thing.
It was.
But do you know what it is?
New York, I'm a Muslim on pork.
Yeah,
I
you
think
know,
it was a corrupt
and
line or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, at the end of the day, like hip hop artists always been sensitive, but there used to be a thing with originality. Like if you look back in hip hop, like Kool Moe Dee, his only beef with LL is that he bit his style. Can you imagine someone
Yeah.
beefing with someone nowadays because they bit their style? Like the internet would have you looking like you're crazy.
Yeah.
They'd be
Everyone
making memes about you and
Beefing
shit.
with each other.
Oh, yeah.
And that's like some of the greatest beefs in history.
Yeah.
Plot over that kind of shit. Like somebody being like, yo, this dude bit my style. Like Cypress Hill versus Ice Cube. You know what I mean? It was more like a hook idea jack, but it's still like, it's like a, yo, like in those days you didn't bite someone's style.
So,
And that's one thing I think about the game that's really missing right now. And the thing I think is funny is everybody wants to fit into the same pocket and be the same artist because they think they're going to quote unquote sell records. But yet the only guys that people talk about, though they might not get the most views on Spotify first week, which equate to record sales nowadays, whatever. But these are the dudes are talking about. Like Eminem put his album out. People are like, yo, Joyner's on there. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Joyner ain't one of the best selling artists.
no.
But you know what he is? He's somebody that people look and they're like, yo, this guy's pen game is crazy. Like Kendrick, to me personally, and I'm going to catch flack for this, but to me, Kendrick is overrated. Like, he's never given me goosebumps or given me that wow moment where I'm like, whoa.
He is to me.
He's got some really
Hold on,
dope shit. Like, he is a dope artist.
As we're saying in the podcast, he's saying that. Yo, Kendrick has had fucking whoa moments for me. Like, the damn album.
It's dope, man. But like, the thing is, the older you grow in hip hop and the more you know the culture, there's different things that affect you, right? And like, here's a good example. And I don't mean to like stand myself out or nothing, because I haven't really been a fan of Eminem till recent with this new album. I was kind of fucking with it. I gotta give it more time still, but I'm impressed. It's the first time I'm impressed with an Eminem album in a while. But the point I'm getting to is like, Rock Bottom, if I had, like, these songs stopped
Hold
me from committing suicide.
Rock Bottom is the best Eminem song of all time.
It's
me.
in the top 5 best hip hop songs of all time, in my opinion. And when I see people hating on Eminem, I'm like, yo,
Rock Bottom is
the thing is, you guys are crazy because everyone else who has a more successful run doesn't have a rock bottom. They don't have a if I had. Like, some artists do, but a lot of them don't, man. And these are, like, I literally have stopped myself from putting a razor blade to my wrist at a point in my younger life to these songs. So I'm like, yo, someone else feels the way I do. They even feel a little worse. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I just think, like, these are the important messages from, you know, though he was a misogynistic, fucking very ignorant, what's the word I'm looking for? Sarcastic, all that shit built the character. But there's those certain songs that like you can't take away from. And that's what I think makes a difference. Like, has Kendrick ever made a song where you're like, yo, like this changed my life?
He's coming very close.
He comes close, but man, that's why Nas is in that category. Nas
has
made songs.
Nas to me, like I'll explain why Nas is my favorite MC because in this,
he makes songs that have changed your life.
He's made songs that changed my life, and like his perspective.
Slug of Atmosphere.
It might be just who I am as a person.
That matters a lot.
That matters a lot, but like Nas had a lot of perspectives on records that like I felt like
yeah,
the way like not even just like he's great skill wise, but like some of the way he's put perspectives has made me feel like he knows exactly what I'm going through right now.
Do you know what the crazy thing is? And this is another thing, it could be controversial, but so Nas's best album is Illmatic, but none of his best songs are on Illmatic. Would any of you agree with that?
His best songs were not on Illmatic?
None of his best songs are on that album, but that is his best album.
Hold on, I said this earlier.
Because his other best songs to me spread throughout his career. Yeah. It's songs like I Gave You Power. It's songs like What Goes Around. It's songs even like Sly Fox, Daughters.
Well,
these are the types of songs that define him.
No, that's what I mean. There's songs that he did that are like
Stillmatic might be
like way bigger and better than
albums.
almost ones that I like. Like I Can and stuff was a
I
lot
Can,
better than like stuff that I like,
aside from him saying Alexander the Great shot the Sphinx, because that's
he had some
not
weird,
really factual.
He had some weird
but
stuff.
Everything aside from that, like that song, especially that verse, is like so powerful. And that was being dropped to us like mainstream television 3 times a day, like when we were watching BT and shit.
Yeah.
And like, you're too young to pick up the knowledge, but like you had an artist like Nas with that opportunity, that kind of a fan base, somebody who Steve Stout already tried to pimp out, sell out, and he's like, nah, fuck it. So Steve Stout moves a J and Nas just keeps doing his thing. Fucking Stillmatic was a hit. God's Son was a hit. I Can is one of his biggest hits of his career, and the content of that's like the biggest political content to get that big since Public Enemy.
And we were saying like Illmatic is the people's favorite album, but like honestly, if I'm gonna pick, like I said, Nas is my favorite artist. If I'm gonna pick my favorite album by Nas, it's Stillmatic.
See, to me, I say Illmatic is his best album. I don't disagree. It is probably the best album in hip-hop. If not, it's in that top 5 easily. But to me, none of his best songs are on that album. Like, throughout his career, he's made albums that are worse, but there's songs on them that are better than the songs on that album.
But also, it comes down to exactly who you are as a person. I feel like on Stillmatic, his back was against the wall. He felt like his mom just died.
Yeah.
Jay-Z was going out.
No, I feel like that's God's Son, because that's where it's like, one more dance with you, mama.
Right before he made Stillmatic, his mom died during that process.
Did she?
Yeah.
I thought she died during before God's Son.
No.
So God's Son was more reflecting on getting to kind of the bag of your emotions.
So like his mom died during Stillmatic.
Okay.
And Jay-Z was going.
That's another one.
Yeah.
Like, who has made a song like Dance?
And also like another song like I thought
like the whole song is about your mom
You're
dying.
The man.
It's Dance. You're the man's dope. But that's what I mean. Like
Second Childhood on there.
Yo, to me, that's actually, to me personally, it's funny you mentioned that.
That's one of my favorite.
I am a huge Preem enthusiast. To me,
hold on.
Second Childhood is one of Preem's worst beats of all time, in my opinion. And Second Opinion, not one of Nas' best joints.
Yo, that is where we completely disagree. Because like Second Childhood to me is like a top 5 Nas song to me.
I would much rather listen to What Goes Around on that album.
What Goes Around is dope. Fire on that. And
Doctors injecting the infants, like that shit is just so like.
You're the Flyest with AZ.
I see. I'm not even that huge on the Flyest,
but like yo,
or the Essence. More Money, More Murder, More Homicide, and
Second Childhood. You don't feel that.
What's the fucking joint Nas and AZ did where it's like,
yeah, that's crazy.
Packed like a midget's closet, and they both rap crazy on it. What's that one called? Serious is the best joint they ever did together. That shit's fire.
Yo,
that track is fire.
Yo,
Second Childhood, man.
That's
it
like
don't-
a fucking phenomenal song to me.
No, to me, man, it don't even
Like,
it
it-
don't compare even with classic. It don't even compare with fucking.
What?
There's no way it compares to I Gave You Power. There's no way it compares to Nas's Like. There's no way it compares to New York State of Mind. No way it compares to fucking Memory Lane. No way it compares to Represent either versions. No way. Like Come and Get Me is the only other Primo and Nas joint I could say like those two are like in the same box of. And even Come and Get Me is still kind of like
I completely disagree.
it's kind of more fire. But Second Childhood to me, nah, man, I don't know.
That's something we're gonna
Disagree on?
Disagree on because Second Child to me is like, man, like we are different on.
It's
on
artistic as shit.
Hip hop taste, but like we are different on hip hop taste. But like yeah, that song to me is like a fucking phenomenal. That's like even like
Personally, I
outside
put
of-
it in Preem's worst 10 beats of all time. What do you think?
Yeah. I can
Second
see
Childhood?
that. Yeah.
You agree with
Nas,
that?
I can see that.
I'm just saying Preem of all
I'd have
time,
to
like-
think, but like you know what I mean.
strongly disagree.
Preem's worst beats of all time? Like Second Childhood might
Strongly.
be in that list.
Strongly disagree.
10 worst?
That's a song to me that
I think Preem's worst beat personally is
and like what Nas talks about on the song, like he's so like he describes like every like he describes so many people that we know.
I give you that, like the lyrics aren't bad. I just the song.
They're great. They're great on that song.
Do you
Okay.
know what I think is like a version of Second Childhood that's better though? Is Get Down. Blaze of 50.
Well, those are the way different songs.
I don't know. They like
That
that
James
story
Brown
they put you in.
sample.
Oh man, Get Down is so fire.
Get Down is fire too. Yeah.
So
and,
fire.
And Blaze of 50. Like Nas has great songs. But
He has great storytelling ability. He
Yeah.
doesn't use it enough.
his storytelling, like I for my sake, go back and listen to Second Childhood and give it another perspective.
Yeah, it's just to me. I guess. Do you know what the difference is too? Like I didn't grow up watching Second Childhood from a perspective of someone who's loved Preem their whole life because I was a youngin', right? So I come from the perspective of someone who goes back and does the research in their history. And after I learned that like 50 of my favorite hip hop songs of all time from like a large span of different artists were all produced by Preem, not to mention all the Gangstar records, I was like, okay, this dude is my favorite producer. Because all these songs that are my favorite songs by all of these artists, he's produced. And then all the Gangstar shit I love. So I'm like, all right. So then I started digging for Preem, right? And then that's when I became a Preem enthusiast. And that's when I started looking. So then, when you find joints like Second Childhood, you're like, yeah, I remember listening to this. You're like, really? This is Preem? You're like, I remember thinking joints like Crack
Wow.
Attack by Fat Joe was Preem
on.
because it was so fire. But it's actually Clark Kent making a Primo style beat. And a lot of artists did that in the late 90s and early 2000s. A lot of dudes use that Primo boom bap style, but it wasn't Preem, right? But coming up, you almost assume that shit's over Preem than some shit like Second Childhood. And I don't know, just like when you go back and peep, you're like, oh man, like, I don't know.
We're listening to two different songs.
No, man. Second Childhood's What I Flow for the Streets. Who else could it be? NAS. Nas. There's like offbeat patterns. Like there's a part where the beat switches up in random parts, and I think it only goes for like 3 loops, not 4, and shit like that.
Yeah.
And to me, that shit's cool and artistic. Like Stakes is High by De La Soul. And to me, top 25, at least 50 best hip hop records of all time. And that was the first hip hop song that didn't run on a 4-beat pattern. If you listen, it runs, I think, on a 6-beat pattern. The doon, 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 doon. Like, you know what I mean? It should have went for 2 more beats to be a full 8, but it goes on a 3. And the way they all ride that beat, like, you would never notice that. Like, to me, that's genius in being offbeat. To me, Second Childhood, it was just like, to me personally, it was almost like forced offbeat. It was like, just like, let's hit him left field, Preem. And I'm like, nah.
And another reason why I think I feel like Second Childhood is like the shit he's talking about. Like it's like I picture
The shit he's talking about is dope.
like
I don't disagree.
I picture the people that he's talking about.
But just to me, like
people that I know in my life, and like songs like that's how they connect with you. Like
yeah,
like these he's writing about people that I almost know.
yeah, the way he puts it down.
The way he puts it down in Second Childhood, he's like, yo, these people are like they never actually grew up.
And that's why Blaze of 50 is a bad example. But what was the other song I used? It was a good example. Get Down. That's
Get
a
Down.
good example. He says the same shit. He's talking about, like, he vividly paints his childhood, like, the 2 squad cars enter the block. I ain't flinch as they want. I went upstairs, bathroom mirror, looking at a young disciple, you know, and then goes into the courtroom, the homie, you know what I mean? Like, put up a fist for Black Power because all I want is freedom. He pulled the CO's gun, said, start squeezing everybody, get, like, just like the way he paints the pictures, and then he talks about like the OGs and like the South who were schooling them and shit. Like, that whole song paints a picture, you know what I mean? But yo, now that we're talking about this actually brings up something else with hip hop related. But have you guys heard of D Haven?
D Haven.
All right, so he's someone who made a video about like 10 years ago, like exposing Jay-Z, quote unquote, right? Jay-Z has referenced him in numerous songs, but the one time he called him out is like, D Haven, making statements, you a rat, that ain't for made men, something like that, right? And so people know D Haven as a snitch, but he never snitched. What he did is he made a video called The Real Jay-Z or Exposing Jay-Z or something on YouTube, right? It was up, got like 1 million views over like 8 years, and now it's been taken down, actually. Not by him, but like YouTube forced it down. Yeah. But he's working on a thing right now. I seen it on Doggy Diamonds. He did a whole interview, right? And he's working on a thing right now where they're actually making a sitcom on his whole life. So he talks about it. But so Doggy's asking him specific questions, right? And he's like, you know, what verses about Jay-Z were about you? And he's like, man, Reasonable Doubt was my life. So they keep talking, and dude's not even trying to like bring light to the stuff that was like about him, right? So they're just talking about his history and stuff. Like, you know, Dead Presidents Part 2, where he's like, my man on the hot block got his side sprayed up. This is mine. I said back. We tripping. Like, I think about the get back that made him smile, though. His eyes said, pray for me. I do you one better and slay these faithfully. Murder is a tough thing to digest. It's a slow process. I ain't got nothing but time. I got near brushes. Not to mention 2 shots close range never touched me. Divine intervention. D Haven was divine intervention. They went out to rob these dudes, and this whole shit happened, and D Haven was like, yo, Hope, because that was like his little bro, right? Like, their moms were best friends, so they grew up together. The cable, I rocked the cable with the anchor when Jazz made Sophie. When you seen Jay-Z back in those old videos, D Haven bought him those chains. Like, D Haven was the dude like put Hove on. You know what I mean?
How do I not know this?
Spanish Jose. He introduced him to Spanish Jose. You know the dude who just did an interview with the Breakfast Club, who's like a product. What's his name? The fuck is his name? Emery. He just did an interview with the Breakfast Club not long ago, and he like runs the Rock Nation clothing. He was in Maryland, and D Haven's the one who introduced him. If you watch the beginning of the Breakfast Club interview, he says, we met through a mutual friend, but we ain't cool no more. So, you know, like that was D Haven. D Haven is Reasonable Doubt. And the thing is, after watching this interview, he doesn't even like to talk about the verse. He's like, man, there's so many I can't even like bring it up, right? You know what I mean? But they brought up the D Haven one where he directly addressed him. After it, I'm listening to Black Republican, and I'm like, holy fuck, it's all about D Haven. Hovering over the stove, we was like brothers then. Even though you was nothing but a son of my mother's friend, we had covenant. Whoever thought the love would...
I always thought he was coming at somebody in that song.
It's D Haven.
D Haven.
D Haven. Look him up, man.
That verse
the
is about
story
somebody.
is crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what exactly we were saying about
this.
Nas. It's just the way you put real stories into rhymes, right? But it's just... You know, Nas is great at it, but I think people overlook Jay-Z's ability at it too. And it made me look. Yeah. Remember when we were younger and I loved Streets is Washing? I'm like, listen, you know he's in a drug dealer state of mind. Like the whole last verse, like secret indictment time came around. You look up and down the street, I can't be found, put in 24-hour weeks, but that ain't me now. Like that's all D Haven shit. You know what I'm saying? Like D Haven was like,
I never knew about this.
Putting things in rhymes. I seen an interview with Biggs.
Yeah.
And like Biggs was saying like certain things that like was his flow. Well, it wasn't his flow, but it was like things he did.
Yeah.
That Jay-Z put in the first album.
Yeah.
Like Jay-Z was rapping about some of the things that Biggs did.
He was rapping about everyone around him's life.
Yeah, so
that's Reasonable Doubt. No disrespect to Jay, because Jay to me is one of my top rappers of all time. But
who doesn't do that, right? Like,
but it's crazy. Check out D Haven. That shit's interesting.
So this is
it paints a picture.
Episode 3 something.
We used to fight for building blocks.
Special.
Now we fight for blocks with buildings that make a killing. Peace.